Alright, hello guys, welcome back to, I think this might be one of my first ongoing series. This is going to be, what if Deku had a dragon quirk? Now, everything is going to go the same, mostly the same, because everything's going to go the same up until he's 6. Wait, when was he diagnosed quirkless? Doesn't matter. Everything's going to go the same up until he's 6. In which case, Bakugo is going to be bullying a kid, as all of my things happen like that. That's how it's always how he unlocks it. From now on, that's always going to happen. But essentially, Bakugo's going to be bullying a kid, and Deku's going to try and stop him. Bakugo's going to hit him to the side, but the moment he hits Deku just kind of turns into a puff of smoke. You know, like how a shadow clone would poof, or how All Might kind of poofed whenever he turned back into his Small Might form. That's kind of what it's going to look like. But whenever the smoke clears, it's going to show that little dragon right there. And that little one right there. I think that's supposed to be a young Hiccup. I don't know. Anyway, that just give a bit of a scale. Essentially, it's the first dragon he's going to unlock. And he's gonna hit, and Bakugo's gonna be a bit startled by this, because, like, what just happened? This absolute nobody just turned into this thing that's about the size of my torso, has wings and scales and horns. Like, what is this thing? You know, like his henchmen with wings is his henchmen are taken aback too as well. Like, and it's essentially going to be like, he's essentially just going to throw a fire blast at Bakugo's leg. If I remember correctly, it's a propane-based blast. Hold on. Terrible Terror. They have it's a propane-based flame. And whenever he turns into it, it's gonna he's gonna be have a height of 1 foot 5 inches, but the wingspan is going to be 6 feet. Just so you know, it's going to weigh about 20 pounds. This is a fully adult Terrible Terror he just turned into. And that's where it's going to start out with. He's going to start with an adult Terrible Terror. Because, like, you know. And he's going to just kind of... He's going to... He's going to hit the ground in front of Bakugo with a propane blast. And Bakugo's going to be able to feel the heat off of this thing, because that's a lot of fire. And he could tell he was aiming. And after the propane blast hits, this is what he hears. that, but more terrifying. Like, and the guy with wings is gonna fly up, and then so is Deku, and he's gonna just grab the guy's wings and just pull him back down. What was the other guy? I think he had sticky fingers or something, long fingers. I don't know. Doesn't matter. And essentially, he gets him to back off. He helps the kid back up, and he isn't going to be considered a quirkless user. He's not going to be called a Deku. And I think he might get the Bakugo might call him a lizard, but you know, that's Bakugo being Bakugo. And yeah, that's the way things go up until I'd say right up until I'd say the day that the teacher comes in with the career assessment test. Same goes, but no one's gonna laugh as hard as they did during the canon. Like, they know he has a chance of maybe making it into 1B or something, but they don't think he can make it. Or maybe, is there a 1C? If there is, he might make it into that top of class 1C or bottom 1B, but little do they know how bad 1B it really is. Like, just, you know. And they don't laugh at him, but, you know, it's just like, meh. And then I'd say the whole sludge villain attack does happen, but I'm gonna say that Deku has heightened senses, just because, like, he's a dragon. He can smell and hear really well, and see. I'd say, you know. And the moment the sludge villain comes at him, he's just gonna poof into his terrible terror form, and just fly. He's gonna jump up, poof into his terrible terror form, which from now on I might start calling it TT form. And then after that, he's gonna fly out of the sludge villain's reach and just hit him with a propane blast. And like maybe 1 or 2 propane blasts. Then the sludge villain's gonna retreat, and then it's gonna go to Bakugo. All Might still runs around the corner, but after the sludge villain had left, he's gonna see this winged lizard thing just kind of flying. It lands on the ground and poofs into a human. "Young man, have you seen a sludge villain coming by here?" Ooh, that was weird. "Coming by here?" Yeah, he tried to attack. Oh my god, it's All Might. And he's just gonna do that for a few seconds. Yes, I saw it. He tried to attack me, but I flew out of his range and hit him with a bit of fire. What is your name, young man? Izuku Midoriya? Well, young Midoriya, excellent work. But remember to stay safe and be careful. All Might, can I get your autograph? He gets his autograph. All Might goes to run after it, the sludge villain. And you know, that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen the same up until, like, and then he's gonna run into the sludge villain. They're gonna hear the explosions, and Deku is gonna poof and fly over there and land on a ledge of a building. and then he's gonna see his old friend now kind of bleed. Like, I'd say he's kind of chilled down a bit, but he's still got Bakugo energy. He's not canon Bakugo, but he's far from Deku. Like, no, just ugh. And you know, uh, I'd say he. This is where he poofs he poofs again, but the cloud that is made is much larger than before, and he turns into a Night Fury. Yeah, he just and he's just gonna fly up into the sky a bit, and then he's just gonna dive bomb the sludge villain, and he's gonna be careful not to hit to keep Bakugo out of the plasma blasts. I think they use. Hold on. Night Fury. Which, by the way, just so you guys know, for those of you who somehow that haven't caught on yet, this is How to Train Your Dragon is the dragon he's gonna get. Let's see here. He's gonna be about 26. I'd say he's 10 feet long, just to make it, because I want it to be kind of a young. Now, if you're not an adult yet, but he'll get there, and a 24-foot wingspan, and that's gonna happen. Then, right before he dive bombs the sludge villain, there is a. And then, boom, right next to the sludge villain, almost knocking Bakugo free. And he is being extremely careful not to hurt Bakugo. So he hits the exact opposite side that Bakugo's on. Like, think of it like a circle. Bakugo's on one side. Think of it like a wall. Bakugo's on one side. Deku's hitting the other. That's kind of how it's going to go. And he's going to mess him up quite a bit. And the heroes are going to get concerned, but it's just they notice they can't really do anything, and this person is the only one doing anything at all. And even if it is putting the kid's life in a bit of danger, they realize that this is kind of the only way it could get done. Like, this is the only way it could get done at that moment. There's no one. They don't know who it is, but they think it's just a hero being that's taking a. They're thinking it's a pro that's just doing what they have to a few burns on the kid versus his death. That's just kind of, and he, after 2 or 3 blasts and 1 or 2 more of. He's the, that's gonna happen. And the moment Bakugo is out of, and I'd say that they just saw that the blasts were coming from above. So, by the time this Bakugo gets knocked out, that's when Deku is actually close enough to see, and he's gonna swoop down and grab Bakugo, and take him to the heroes. And that's when All Might's gonna go pop and just kind of basically ear clap the sludge villain into just how that happened. And Deku's gonna poof back, kind of, and he's pretty tired, cause I'd say it uses up a decent amount of his energy. Like, he gets more energy when he's in those forms, or the energy that dragon would usually have. But like, just but that's essentially where that's gonna. But that's pretty much. But once he turns back, it kind of transfers in a way equivalent to how much energy was used by the dragon. Like, think of it like you have a 1 gallon. You have a gallon bucket of water. It's half full. Then you take it to a. Then you take. But then you increase its side to a 5 gallon, but that's still half. So if you pour out 1/5, if you get rid of a bit of the water that's in the 5 gallon, and then you shrink it back down into a 1 gallon, the same amount of energy would be the percentage of energy would still be that was depleted would be the same, but the amount actually exerted would be different. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you understand, you know. And Deku's gonna get reprimanded for like and yelled at the by the heroes, and like All Might's gonna say, this young man was being a hero while pros were on the sidelines. You know, like he essentially says that while you pros that are being paid to do this are sitting on the sidelines with this little kid, where this kid did your job. And he just essentially does that. And like the pros, they're like, yeah. But he's still gonna say to Midori, like, however, what you did was still reckless, and you could have hurt him. However, I do think that was kind of the only option at that time. So I have to give you props for that. And the media is gonna storm Deku, and he's just gonna, I don't like this. And I'd say if he has equipment on him, that's gonna poof into like a saddle or a satchel on his dragon form. Like, it just kind of poofs with him, so it's like if he has a backpack on him in his human form, if he poofs, the backpack will just disappear for a while, and then when he poofs back, he'll have it on still. That kind of thing. And those plasma blasts did a lot of damage to the sludge villain, but also a bit to the ground where they hit, because he wasn't aiming directly for the sludge villain, like I said. And I'd say that. And I'd say that one for all, All Might's quirk, one for all, yeah, is gonna get passed to Mirio, because he sees that this boy already has a quite powerful quirk, and he's like, having one very powerful hero isn't the best way to go about it. We need to have multiple powerful heroes, so they can be in multiple places at the same time, and that kind of just goes through his head. And since Deku's not quirkless, it's not going to be given to him, so it's going to go to Mirio. And that's essentially where that ends up. And hold on. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's essentially the way that's gonna go. During the entrance, he's still gonna trip on his way, and Uraraka is gonna catch him. That whole thing happens. And everything goes the same up until the actual, up until the actual robot test. combat test, I think. And he's gonna, uh, you know, he's gonna do, he's gonna do pretty well on that. And I'd say that he, at the beginning, he just turns into a, he kind of just starts at his adult terrible terror, because he realizes that that's kind of his best option at this time for what he's doing. Cause like he needs to be quick. I'd say he just kind of flipped a coin and said, "Heads, small." You know, he essentially just flipped a coin to choose which one he's going to go with, and I'd say it just lands on terrible terror. And he's gonna, it'll be difficult for him, but he's gonna go. He's gonna just get quite a bit of robot points. But then comes the moment when Uraraka is kind of trapped on that, is about to get stomped on, and that's when he just turns into a Night Fury, and he just and he's just gonna race at the 0-pointer and just hit it like 3 times in the front, knocking it off, kind of knocking it off balance. And that's where and then he's gonna swoop down, grab Uraraka, and take her to Recovery Girl, I'd say. And then he's gonna poof back into Deku, the lovable Deku. But, you know, I'd say he does a bit better in this than he does in canon. Maybe like 20 points better. I don't know. I'd say he gets first place, though. Yeah, he definitely gets first place. But he gets accepted in, you know. And, say that, I'd say that, it goes up the same up until class, in which case, just like in my fighting video, he is going to have enhanced senses, so he's going to be able to smell the kind of so he's going to be able, I'd say he might be able to hear the, no, he doesn't notice Aizawa. I'm just going to see that. And he's just going to, and everything goes the same, and then, but everything's going to go the same up until the assessment test, in which case he does, like, I'd say that for the grip test, he turns into a terrible terror and just bites the thing. For the speed, he goes terrible terror on just about all of it, because he doesn't, because Night Fury is kind of new to him, and he doesn't really like using it until he gets used to it, I'd say. So that's how that's gonna, and he did train with Night Fury quite a bit over the summer, but he still feels a bit uncomfortable using it for stuff like this. Not for long, but, you know, that's just how that's gonna go. Had to burp there. Sorry, I've been having those kind of burps that are kind of hard to get out a bit for this. But, yeah. And, yeah. Yeah, and then he's gonna, on the ball throw, I'd say he just throws it up. And I'd say that this is something he feels like the Night Fury is kind of needed for. So he's gonna throw it up, turn into the Night Fury, and just use his tail to bat it as far as he can. And, you know, I always, and, you know, the I'm not creative enough to come up with the reactions for the class, so you can do that. You know. And, you know what? For the sake of this, I'm going to say that when he's in his normal, like, just human base form, I'm going to say that he essentially has, like, a big lighter that he can make come out of his mouth. Like, that amount of flame. I'd say it's kind of like, you know, the modified ones where it's a stream about the length of the middle finger of a soft flame. And that's about where it's going to be like for his base flame. And that's about, you know, that's how that's going to be. I just wanted to give him that because I think that's kind of cool. And every once in a while he'll just blow out of the side of his mouth flames. And he can adjust the length, but that's the max it can go if it's a stream. Or he can just make a small, just like, kind of like Endeavor's mustache, but it's not as fiery, it's just kind of a soft, you know, just coming out of his entire mouth. And I'm going to say that this doesn't affect his hair, his facial hair at all. Just because, like burning facial hair, like that does not smell. Or nose hair. I'd say it doesn't sit. He's developed a weird thing so that specific area of his body is pretty much is fire resistant to that to the max temperature he can make his mouth go. And he can, you know, he can do that. So, when he transforms into his normal, I think I'm going to stay. Sorry if that was loud. Oh, I was not expecting that. I don't know how to edit, so I won't be able to, you know, put a warning for you guys. So, very headphone warning. So if that was loud, I'm sorry. You know, just know that. And let's say that I think I might be able to make it to. I'm not sure how far I'll be in the series. Yeah. So that's where that comes to. I'm sorry if I'm blanking out. Oh, that's